Hello, viewers out there. You're welcome to Sports Orbit. My name is Afa Achil. Salif Usman is also in the studio with me. Salif, welcome to Sports Orbit.
Thank you, Ashish. It's my pleasure.
Today's edition of the program will begin straight from the Nigerian Premier League, where Remo Stars have claimed the 2024-2025 Premier League title after a nearly 1-0 win over Niger Tornadoes in Ikene on Sunday. So for Remo Stars, just like a lot of sports analysts have touted in the latter part of the season, had led the table for a long time. At a point, they were going neck to neck with Rivers United, but towards the most important stages of the season, had to pull out, and finally, Remo Stars are now crowned winners of the NPFL. And incidentally, this is the first time since 2000 a privately owned club in Nigeria will be winning the title since a Southwest club actually since Julius Berger in the year 2000. And if I'm not mistaken, one of the few times a privately owned club is winning the NPFL title. But whichever we look at it, kudos to Remo Stars, who, if I'm not mistaken, came to the NPFL not even up to 10 seasons ago from grew through the ranks, and now they are champions of the NPFL.
Yeah, congratulations to Remo Stars. Congratulations to Kule Tsunami. It's all about dedication and commitment and know your vision and then focus. Even though there's always an adage in Nigeria that the champion is always aided to be a match. But if you look at the trajectories of this Remo Stars and their journey from where they start from and their consistencies over the year. 2 years ago, they finished as a second runner. Went to represent Nigeria in the CAF Confederation Cup. Last year, they finished as a first runner up, qualifying for the champions, the CAF champions, even though they were not successful in the CAF. And this year, they are now a champion. So there's a steady progress from where they start from and where they are. So, whichever way one can say, obviously, Remo Stars deserve to be crowned champion of the Nigerian Premier League, and they rightly proved. And for the first time in a very long time, that the champions of the Nigerian Premier League emerged with 3 games to spare. They are still 3 matches to play. Because currently they are topping the table with 68 points, and the second place, which is River United, has 58 points, 10 point difference between them. Even though they lose their next 3 matches, River United can only accumulate 3 matches from 9 points from the remaining 9. That's why they have now cranked exactly what happened in the Premier League yesterday when Liverpool were champion with 4 matches to go. Because Arsenal can no longer cover the point gap between them. So I commended the Nigerian sport philanthropies, sport investors, and I told you that the man has dedicated commitment. And if you look at over the years, many private-owned clubs have come into the Nigerian Premier League, tried to stay, but Kule Tsunami has demonstrated a different from the past what we have seen in the past. Yes, we have Giwa FC came to we all know the story how Giwa FC existed from the football in Nigeria. We have Ifa Imba United, obviously. Also how Ifa Imba United, what at the end of the day, the proprietors are going to listen to Ifa Imba to some extent withdraw his support from the club, and the club.
Even former Senate President Bukola Saraki once had a club.
Bukola Saraki, Bukola Biwami. Bukola Saraki club. Obviously, yes, it's a personal club, a private owned club. But to some extent, if you go into Kwara and find what that club is, is a story for another day. So let's just leave it there. But we call it a private club, but we all know how those clubs were financed, although with support of the then Senate President. But state government was not totally out of it because the then governor also after he existed as a governor, the man who was sitting him there is very close ally. We were also giving the support to that club. So it was not probably completely, but it was a red club. So that's why I'm saying that Colosseum example is a quite different example. And anybody who wants to invest in Nigerian Premier League community needs to study the philosophy and how Colosseum has invested. And at the moment, one thing we also see that if you look at today, even the national team went to always go to play in the Remo Stars Stadium. Unlike they make the other club, even the government-owned club who don't even own stadium in Nigeria, but the private-owned club have a stadium that is hosting national teams.
Yeah.
So that is tells that there's a serious investment in the Remo Stars, and we believe with all Colosseum to sustain this, and probably he will be the first private club, just like we have in South Africa, just like we have in Egypt, in Morocco, who are having a private club coming on to Nigeria, always doing well in the segment there. And probably you'll be able to not just win the league, but do Nigeria proud in the championship. That is always what we are all expecting from him.
All right, moving on from that to the NPFL, we have the table. Quickly, we look at that, but while we wait for that,
Even the president of Nigeria, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has also congratulated Colosseum this afternoon for his club emergence as champion, and that's to tell you that even the government follow what is happening in the Nigerian Premier League.
Quickly, of course, we have Remo Stars there, Rivers United following in second position, Abia Warriors in third position. A good one for Abia Warriors, Ikorodu City, another private club who started the season poorly, but now in the fourth position. Eyimba, former 8-time champions here in the fifth. Bedden Insurance also not doing badly. Then the likes of Kano Pillars, seventh, Enugu Rangers, current holders, 8th position, while Bayelsa United, Plateau United make up the top 10. The likes of Shooting Stars, Kwara United, National United, the likes of Niger Tornadoes find themselves in the bottom half. But of course, like we said last week here, Lobby Stars already relegated from the NPFL.
Okay, leave the table. Let's look at the table at the moment. If you look at the table, there's the competition for who join Remo Stars in the CAF Champions League is now clearly between River United and Abia Warriors. Yes, Ikorodu City still have a relative chance because there are 3 matches to go, and with 9 points in those 2 matches, so Ikorodu City still have a relative chance to compete for a Champions League. But obviously, if we must be frank, it's always going to be between Abia Warriors and River United. So Ikorodu City must fight to give the Confederation Cup. Yes, between Abia Warriors and we need to challenge to finish within the top 10 and the third position to go for a CAF Cup. And the second CAF Cup from the Always Federation Cup. But let's look at the bottom of the table. Who are those who are struggling to avoid relegation? Let's take the table up. Move on. Let's see the bottom of the last on the bottom of the table. Okay, I understand. Just like you said, Lobby Star have been relegated already. Even Sunshine Star also battling to avoid relegation. Another club.
All right, let's move away from that now. Where, of course, Sunshine Stars coach Bola Abubakar says his team will continue the fight to avoid relegation in the remaining fixtures this season with a winning mentality. The Owena Waves defeated Katsina United 2-0 at the Dikwa Dino Stadium on Sunday. For Sunshine Stars, like we said, also at the risk of being relegated if they are not being careful.
Yeah, the coach assuring that yes, they're going to keep on the one. But to me, there's no need to limit up. It's a task that you must fulfill. Your job is to ensure that if you can't win the league now, you must ensure to maintain your status quo in the top Premier League. So it's not about coming out everybody to assure the final to tell anybody. It's all about what to do and talk to your players and do the needs.
All right, to some athletics now, where marathon runners who participated in 2 major marathon events in Nigeria have started receiving their much-awaited cash prizes after an extended delay that raised significant concerns among stakeholders in the athletics community. The Athletics and Other Sports Development Initiative, that's the name of the organization, confirmed the payments have commenced from Nilayo Sports Marketing, the company who were responsible for organizing the events, athletes from the Premium Trust Bank Marathon in Abuja and Lotus Marathon in Abeokuta have begun to receive their payments. Although, well, like they say, better late than never.
Yeah, better late than never. But did you even supposed to? Did you even supposed
In the first
to
place.
delay the payment in the first place? Obviously, no. And you know, sometimes the way the administrators, although the organizers of those marathon beyond, he called for to imagine either because if you are if you what you know what is what doing is what doing well, and if you know you can't do it, please stay off the mark instead of you to embarrass yourself and in the process embarrassing the country. How can you organize a marathon or invite international athletes? And in most cases, what they do, they pay those international athletes instantly.
Yeah.
But the locals who participated, they will deprive them or if at some time not paying them. I remember one of the Nigeria best Apam and his one from Plateau. There was a time at the Eagle Square here in one of the marathon events. He complained bitterly that even the race he participated 2 years ago he has not been paid the cash price. And those marathoners, they go a lot to participate in those competitions. And after so far a lot to participate in competitions, what you promised them, please fulfill your promise. And it's good that an independent organization, an NGO, is taking up this matter. And if not thanks to the independent athletic investigation, who have taken up this, they take up this matter to challenge this in the public and to raise this alarm. Some of those they will have kept quiet on it. Even the sponsors are pay you. Pay you. So what they're going to say, why are you holding the money?
Definitely. Okay, let's move to some athletics now, where the National Sports Commission has congratulated Team Nigeria for their exceptional performance at the 2025 African Senior Weightlifting Championships held in Mauritius. Nigeria secured a total of 18 medals, which included 8 gold, 4 silver, and 1 bronze, reinforcing Nigeria's status as a dominant force in African weightlifting. Of course, we also say kudos to the weightlifters. If you recall last year on this program, we had said, when it comes to weightlifting, both locally and internationally, Nigerian weightlifters have always, given a good account of themselves. And this time at the African Championships, once again, proving that Nigeria is a force to reckon with when it comes to weightlifting.
Yeah, I think in the ASAM, the 18 medals compared, the 113 gold, 13 gold, and 41 one bronze. So kudos to the Team Nigeria's lifters for always put Nigeria's on the up there. When you come to Africa, within Africa context, and even probably within the Commonwealth context, we have no doubt about their capability. But when they always fell short of the expectation, it's when they become a global event, particularly at the Olympics. Sometimes even at the ordinary world championship, they always showcase their talent. But I don't know, world championship is the same as an Olympic event. But it's all across the globe that come to participate, all athletes from across the world that came for the world championship. And you see them when the world championship doing well. But I don't know what the yardstick or what is the mystery within the Olympic when they become an Olympic medal, which is always the desire of every athlete to hold the Olympic medal. You only see them fall in short. Going to the last Olympic, we were a lot of Nigerians were pretty sure, plus or minus, Nigeria will either by any color, no matter how, Nigeria will definitely pick a medal. In a way, what some people are even pretending that they are going to have at least not less than 1 goal. If at all we don't even make anything, we must pick a 1 goal or more color see a medal. But unfortunately, we came back with nothing. Even our athlete, none of our athletes can even go to the final stage of the competition. But I'm not trying to dampen their morale, but what they have done so far, congratulations to them. They went to Africa to Mauritius and put Nigeria proud. And we hope, just like the Chairman of National Sport Commission, they can maintain this momentum. And they need support, and let everybody on the stakeholder put hand on this and keep on supporting them, prepare them hard, and give them all the necessary support, what they needed to prepare their mind and keep their mind focused ahead of other games that is coming up soon. Very soon we will be talking about the Commonwealth Games. And then in the next 3 years, we are back with the Olympic again.
All right, let's move on from that now to the EPL, where, of course, yesterday Liverpool finally wrapped up the EPL, well, not with matches done, but of course technically became crowned champions yesterday with that 5-1 thumping of Southampton making them winners
Tottenham.
of the Tottenham brother winners of the 2024-2025 EPL season, eventually equaling United's record. I mean, a huge congratulations to Liverpool. Some of us had seen it coming even right during the halfway through the season because of how they've been played, and Liverpool have wrapped it up even before the season is officially over.
Yes, congratulations to Liverpool. Congratulations to Slaw in his first season, just like the way Mourinho did some years back, and Ancelotti also did it some years back. They're going to come in his first season, and Liverpool have claimed the title, and not just claim the title in the style, breaking the supremacy of the Manchester United, who always claim that they are the best club in the Premier League. Now, Liverpool have matched their record, so it is now two of the highest successful club in the Premier League, and those two clubs are the most rivaling. The rival between us is always something to imagine. So, congratulations to Liverpool, and I'm very sure that Liverpool fans will go to celebrate it. So it's now a contest between Liverpool and Manchester United who will win the 21st title between the and Manchester United after 5 years, Liverpool after 5 years ago, and now they are back with the title, equaling the record that Manchester United have kept it for a very long time.
All right, let's move on to other stories now. Of course, during the weekend we also saw the FA Cup semi-finals. 2 matches were played. Crystal Palace played Aston Villa while Man City took on Forest, and Crystal Palace triumphed while Man City beat Forest. While Man City Crystal Palace will be facing off in the final of the FA Cup, and for Man City this is their 3rd consecutive final, winning the other one, losing last year, then back in the final again. For Man City, this is their only hope of silverware this year. Well, kudos to Man City, if you ask me.
Yes, kudos to Man City, and whatever anybody must say, if you look at Man City, that's why they are poor season this year. Except Arsenal.
I think if you call it poor season, it will be by Man City standards, because currently they are still by Man City standards.
That is what I'm trying to say. They are poor season by Man City standards. You just take that word from my mouth, by Man City standards. Because if at the end of the day, if you look at it, their season is even better than some of the clubs who we thought that they have not won this season. For instance, except lucky smile on Arsenal and they won the Champions League, or get to the final of the Champions League. It means that if Liverpool, if they won the FA Cup, they have also do well than Arsenal, who have come close 3 times, consecutive time to win the Premier League title, and they can never they couldn't lay their hand on the title. So despite the strong group, Pep Guardiola has also proved that yes, Man City is club to, and if you look at their match they played, the last 4 matches, it's like they appear that they are gradually come back to their best form, or they're getting a better result. And football is all about upset, because the result between Crystal Palace and Aston Villa, didn't saw it coming. Looking at the way Aston Villa played this season, playing to the quarterfinal of the Champions League, they get knocked out from the Champions League by PSG. Just by a whisker, because they actually play well, they did go and give DBSP a lot of their money. But I was hoping that based on that form, coming to the FA Cup, and having known that they have lost everything, even their chance of qualifying for the Champions League next season is also dicey. So I hope that they are going to put up to everything, get into the final. But surprisingly, the Crystal Palace has another idea, and they proved them and knocked them, commode them from the FA Cup. So it's now a battle between Palace and Man City. So, and for Palace definitely want to challenge City for this title, to at least to know that they have won something in their life. And but for Man City, we want at least yes, poor season, but it was not all bad. So Guardiola will put everything to get this title. So it's going to be an interesting tide in the FA Cup final.
Before the Champions League is back again, semi-finals, first leg much awaited will start tomorrow, and it will be Arsenal who will start by hosting Paris Saint-Germain. That's tomorrow, while on Wednesday Barcelona will host Inter Milan in the all-important semi-finals of the Champions League.
Yeah, interesting. It's going to be an interesting game. Looking at Arsenal and PSG, and if you look at the way this club has played this season, obviously it's too close to cut to say where I pick my time this side or this side. PSG has not lost a match this season. They are yet to lose a game this season, and they have been consistent already. They have already pocket the domestic league, whom they always won, and Eric Piqué tell everywhere, tell everybody after the exit of Papi that PSG is going to be better. It was Papi exit, and he has really rightly proved it so. If you look at the way the PSG has played this season, even when they happen where Papi, they have not done like that. They won the domestic league without losing the game, and they are hoping that by to end the season without losing the game. And in Champions League now, they have Arsenal to contend. So it's going to be a tight game in my own view, and we hope that as somebody who is pathetic, but I hope that Arsenal is luck will smile on Arsenal again and have the best on the luck on their side. And thank God they are hosting. Arsenal is hosting the first game. Maybe if what happened to them again, the Lord has smiled again to them against Madrid, can repeat each again, get the best result, get the result they needed in the first leg, and then we'll go to the Paris and close the game and close the show.
What's Barcelona Inter on Wednesday?
If you look at Barcelona Inter, some people are already making their mind that Barcelona will have their way, but it's going to be very difficult.
Might not be the case.
Yeah, man, it's going to be very difficult. If you look at the way this Inter player has played this season, you may not kindly say they are big name boys, but they have played as a collective team. They are good in defense, and if they want to defend collectively, they attack collectively. So Barcelona may have a big star, big boy to change the game, but it's going to be the defensive mechanism of Inter is going to be proved difficult for Inter. Me, I will not be surprised if Inter also. But one thing I don't like about this Champions League that I wish is a one-legged affair match. But sometimes when you play the first leg, you go your way. The second leg can prove another way different, because the losing side will go and strategize and then get you out of the competition.
All right, those matches come up tomorrow and Wednesday, 8 p.m. Nigerian time, and of course on Sports Orbit, we'll keep an eye on them to give you an update and review when we come back on our next edition. With that, we draw the curtain on today's edition of Sports Orbit. Hopefully to join us during the week for another interesting edition of the program. Thank you once again for being in the studio on today's edition of Sports Orbit.
Thank you, sir.
Until come your way, do have a wonderful time. My name is Afa Acho, and it's bye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.